Life sometimes feels like it could have gone 1,000 different ways. Somehow, all of them feel strangely possible. According to quantum physics, that's not just poetic thinking. That's literally how reality works. Today we're diving into the idea that there isn't just one you. There are many versions of you, peacefully coexisting in the field of possibilities, and you can shift between them far more easily than you think. Quantum physics describes reality not as a single straight line, but as a field of possibilities, a vast, shimmering ocean of potential outcomes. Every decision you've made, every decision you didn't make, every dream you followed, and every dream you abandoned, all of them exist as parallel variations of you. You are one personality, but with billions of potential futures branching out like a cosmic tree. And here's the extraordinary part. You are not locked into one branch. You can shift, fluidly, naturally, intentionally, into the version of you that aligns with your chosen reality. Now let's ground this in science. In quantum experiments, particles don't have a fixed state. They exist in multiple states at once, until they are observed. This is called superposition. And here's the mind-bending part. The moment you observe the particle, it collapses into one specific reality. Your attention, your focus, literally determines the outcome. If the smallest building blocks of the universe behave this way, then your thoughts aren't just private mental events. They are instructions. They are selectors. They are the steering wheel of your timeline. When you master your mentality, you become the architect of your reality. Here's the paradox. Most people block their desired reality because they want it too much. Not because the desire is wrong. Not because the universe is withholding it. But because the desire becomes inflated, emotionally heavy, mentally charged, and energetically distorted. When you place something on a pedestal, you don't just admire it. You create distance from it. You create tension. You create fear. You create the belief that this is hard, this is rare, this is special, and worst of all, this is not who I am yet. And the moment you believe you're separate from your desire, you shift into a version of reality where that separation becomes true. But shifting realities is not a battle. It's not a negotiation. It's not a spiritual obstacle course. It's a selection. Just like choosing an item at a store. You don't beg for it. You don't panic about it. You don't obsess over how it will get into your hands. You don't stand in the aisle thinking, what if I'm not worthy of this cereal? What if the universe says no? You simply choose it. You reach out. You take it. And you move on. That's the energy of alignment. Calm, neutral, grounded. When you decrease the importance of your desire, you stop pushing it away with emotional pressure. You stop treating it like a miracle that might or might not happen, and start treating it like a natural option that already exists. Because it does. The field of possibilities already contains the version of you who has the thing you want. You're not trying to create it from scratch. You're not trying to convince reality to give it to you. You're simply tuning into the version of you where it's already normal. And normal things don't require desperation. Normal things don't require obsession. Normal things don't require emotional fireworks. They require choice. They require clarity. They require neutrality. When you stop worshiping the desire, you stop vibrating at the frequency of lack. And suddenly, the path to that reality becomes smooth, effortless, and strangely obvious. Because the moment you stop treating your desire like a distant dream, you step into the version of you where it's already part of your everyday life. Visualization is not about imagining the steps. It's not about micromanaging the universe, forcing outcomes, or obsessively rehearsing every detail of how things might unfold. It's about tuning into the final scenario, the version of you who already has what you want, who is already living the reality you're calling in. Most people visualize like they're planning a road trip. What route do I take? How long will it take? What obstacles might show up? But that's not how shifting works. You don't visualize the journey. You visualize the destination. Because in the field of possibilities, the version of you who already succeeded already exists. It's not a fantasy. It's a frequency. You're not trying to build that version of yourself from scratch. You're not trying to convince reality to give you something new. You're simply aligning with a version of you that is already alive in the quantum field. Think of it like tuning a radio. The music you want to hear is already playing, it's just on a different station. You don't create the music. You don't chase it. You don't beg the radio to play it. You simply adjust the dial. And at first you might hear static. You might hear fragments of the song. You might feel like you're close but not quite there. But the moment you land on the right frequency, the sound becomes clear, effortless, undeniable. That's what visualization does. It shifts your internal frequency to match the reality you want to experience. When you visualize the final scenario, not the steps, not the obstacles, not the timeline, you're telling your mind, this is who I am now. This is my baseline. This is my normal. And your external world begins to reorganize itself around that identity. Because reality doesn't respond to your wishes. It responds to your state. Visualization is the art of stepping into that state early, before the physical evidence appears, before the world catches up, before anything changes on the outside. You become the version of you who already has the thing, and then the thing arrives not as a miracle but as a match. Just like tuning a radio, the music was always there. You simply weren't on that station yet. Shifting realities doesn't feel dramatic. There's no thunder. No portal tearing open in the sky. No cosmic explosion announcing that your life has changed forever. It feels much quieter than that. Much softer. Much more human. Feels like a quiet inner click. A subtle release. A moment where something inside you stops resisting and simply says, yes, this is who I am now. Sometimes it feels like clarity washing over you, a sudden understanding that doesn't come from thinking but from remembering. Sometimes it feels like peace, a gentle, grounded calm that settles into your chest as if your future self just placed a reassuring hand on your shoulder. And then, almost imperceptibly at first, life begins to rearrange itself around your new frequency. You meet someone unexpectedly, someone who opens a door you didn't even know existed. An opportunity appears out of nowhere, not forced, not chased, not begged for, just perfectly timed. A problem dissolves without effort, not because you fought it, but because you shifted into a version of reality where that problem no longer mattered. Feels like coincidence. It feels like luck. It feels like the universe suddenly started paying attention. But it's not coincidence. It's not luck. It's not magic. It's alignment. It's the natural consequence of stepping into a version of yourself that was already waiting for you. A version where things flow, where timing makes sense, where life feels like it's finally moving with you, instead of against you. Shifting doesn't feel like a dramatic event. It feels like coming home. You don't need to fight for a new reality. You don't need to earn it. You don't need to prove yourself worthy of it. You don't need to hustle your way into alignment or convince the universe that you're finally ready. You don't need to struggle, sacrifice, or suffer your way into a better version of your life. Because reality doesn't respond to force. It responds to clarity. You simply choose it. You decrease its importance. You visualize the final scenario. And you let your thoughts, your energy, tune you into the version of you that already exists. You shift not by pushing, but by allowing. Not by demanding, but by deciding. Not by chasing, but by becoming. Because reality isn't fixed. It's fluid. It's responsive. It's programmable. And the programmer is you. You are the observer. You are the selector. You are the one who chooses which version of yourself you step into next. And the moment you realize that, the moment you truly feel it, life stops being something that happens to you and becomes something that unfolds from you. If this message resonated, share your experience in the comments. Tell us the moment you felt a shift, the moment something clicked, the moment you realized you were stepping into a new version of yourself. Because this space isn't just a channel, it's a community. A place where we're all shifting, learning, and expanding together, one reality at a time.